Can you cheat in League of Legends? The answer is yes. However, you would eventually get banned. But some players do get away with it. Because despite being a billion-dollar company, Riot often makes mistakes. These mistakes come in the form of bugs. And sometimes these bugs go under the radar and players are able to take advantage of them to unfairly win a large amount of games. Now, of course, these bugs always get fixed, eventually. Some last a day or two, and then others maybe 3 or 4 years. Today we take a look at the weird in-game bugs that you didn't know players took advantage of without getting banned. But before we get into that, today's video is sponsored by Porofessor. Porofessor is an app for League of Legends designed to help you play better. The app provides you with an arsenal of tools to get you one step closer to playing like Faker. Well, we can try. Like automatically importing the best runes and builds for your champion, an in-game overlay letting you know how your performance is going, jungle timers on the map, which is super underrated, and among other things, their enemy spell tracker. Click the spell you just saw be used, and now you have a more or less accurate cooldown of that spell. And keeping track of enemy spells is something pro players do in every game. Porofessor just makes it a lot more simple. So if you're ready to start improving your future games, click the first link in the description and download Porofessor for free today. Defeat. Losing a game of League of Legends sucks. You probably had a terrible experience and you lost all your LP. But what if you could play League games and never lose ever again? Well, that's exactly what some players did back in Season 11 when it was discovered that there was a way to manipulate custom games into actually rewarding you LP for winning. This required abusing a specific bug. However, the program to enable the bug was shopped around for over $200. But once you had the program, you could just play as many custom games as you want and get up to any rank you wanted. Some players won over 50 games straight, bringing their ranks to Diamond and Masters. What's most interesting, however, is that players exploited this for months before Riot eventually banned the accounts that took part in the exploit. So this is just one example of how every once in a while a major bug exploit comes around that enables players to cheat. Literally, as I am making this video, Riot just disabled the champion Nico from being played. This being because there was a bug where she could turn into a tower, kill all her opponents, and win the game in less than 3 minutes.
Your tower's gonna die bot in 3 seconds. Oh,
no, it's not. There's no way.
Camera bot, I'm telling you, bro. It's.
This guy had won over 12 games straight exploiting this bug before Riot did anything about it.
Piss and shit.
She's low, bro. Shit.
Damn, you got her, I think.
But okay, these guys eventually got banned. So what about the players who didn't get banned? For the longest time, there were players using this Scion bug.
사이온의 분노? 뭐야? 이거 그 버그 옛날에 버그 아니야?
In case you don't know, this is Scion's ultimate. It's meant to go in a straight line and definitely not do any of this.
What?
We can all agree that this is blatant cheating, especially when you consider that in order to consistently do this, you do need a program that activates the bug for you, aka a script. But guess what? Despite cheating and being exposed in videos, these players didn't get banned. At least not all of them. Here's a player that used this exploit against Tyler 1.
Okay, we lost. Okay, we lost. Alright, he's scripting. We lost. This company's trash. Just fucking FF it.
Night Slayers. Today, that player's account is still active. And this is just one of hundreds or thousands of players who used this bug to some sort of extent. But everything I'm showing you here is just from random YouTube videos that people have posted. The fact that some players didn't get banned for heavily exploiting this bug means that there were definitely players who used the exploit when they needed it most, and if they were lucky, they never got caught, keeping both their accounts and the LP they gained from cheating. But don't worry, this article states that Riot is working on fixing this bug. Oh, hang on. This article was written 2 years ago. Jokes aside, I do believe this was fixed a couple months ago, but in the end, Riot allowed a bug like this to exist for years, and many players completely got away with taking advantage of it. Not to mention that every time a game-breaking bug gets exploited, thousands of games get ruined. Sure, Riot dealt with the Nico bug within 48 hours, but what about the LP people lost due to playing against her? But real quick, you may be wondering, why doesn't Riot ban these players? And although I'm not certain, if I had to guess, it seems if someone is committing an offense that the automated system doesn't comprehend as cheating, they simply won't be banned. Similar to all those low elo Yumi bots. This is clearly a bot or a player trolling, but the automated system can't figure it out, so nothing happens. Unless a Riot employee goes in and manually bans the players. And then when it comes to bug exploits, these are often done by running scripts. And surprisingly, scripters are getting better at creating scripts that remain undetectable for longer than you'd think. But that's a topic for another video. Moving on, what about a different type of bug? This is kind of a gray area, so you tell me if this is cheating or not. Account transfers. If you're not active on League social media, you probably had no idea this was a thing. Early in 2021, it was discovered that if you purchased an account transfer to a different server and then transferred your account back to your main server, the MMR on your account would reset to a point where you would be able to do your ranked provisionals again. And most importantly, if you do well in these provisionals, your account would now have insane LP gains. Instead of gaining 15 LP, these players would gain anywhere from 25 to 35 and lose barely any LP on defeats. It's complicated to explain why this works, but the point is that it worked. And that might be the worst part. You didn't have to understand what you were doing, just those 2 steps and your account is now unironically boosted. The streamer Dante's actually gained popularity by using this method. Every time he became hard stuck and his LP gain slowed down, he would transfer. He would call each transfer the final transfer, but it was never the final transfer.
We have 2 choices. Choice A is for the next 12 days, grind on a plus 17, minus 17, or we can do option B, which is just do the final transfer on that one fucking like... Alright, it's time for the final transfer.
And he was very transparent about this. He even made a video explaining exactly how you could take advantage of this as well. Long story short, this really worked. And allegedly, even pro players were caught doing this. This last couple of weeks, I was checking EU ladder accounts, plus checking op.gg's at my lobbies, and I ended up creating a whole list of transfer players with 45 plus people. In this list, even pro players pop up. Notably Unforgiven, the ADC for the Mad Lions. In the end, you can no longer do this. Riot fixed it and started banning players who were doing it. Dante's specifically received a ban for a continuous abuse of the transfer system, but players who took advantage of this while they could received absolutely no punishment. I'd say that's pretty unfair. And not to mention that it was technically also a pay-to-win system, as each transfer has a cost of 2600 RP, equivalent to like $25. Anyway, you tell me if that should be considered cheating or not. Everything we talked about today are bugs and things that for the most part became public knowledge. But the true exploits that players are using and not getting banned are things that people are keeping a secret. There's a whole expensive black market full of scripters advertising cheats that are undetectable. Obviously, I haven't indulged in them, but it does make me wonder how many players are actively trying to cheat on a day-by-day basis. Because remember, something like the custom game exploit existed for months before we even knew about it. Who knows what else is going on that we don't know about?
Doesn't look normal.
But anyway, cheating is for losers. And you are epic. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you again next week. Take care.